Hello, I'm Jorge Alcantara, co-founder and CEO of Zentrik. Most teams have the same bottleneck. Signal and feedback live in disconnected tools, spreadsheets and docs, whilst delivery happens in Jira and Co. The gap in between is where context unavoidably gets lost, decisions drift, and teams burn cycles rewriting the same information. Even worse, this pressure ends up forcing teams to focus on building features rather than delivering on outcomes. Zentrik is built to close this gap with end-to-end context management, so you can go from evidence to an initiative and from an initiative to a clean handoff to delivery without broken telephones, getting to the how without losing the why behind the work. Discovery is where everything starts. You drop in customer signal, transcripts, tickets, notes, whatever you have, and Zentrik extracts insights and organizes them. Zentrik doesn't decide what to build, you do. We make sure the context you need to decide well is always at hand, always connected, always explainable. Each insight links back to the source, so when you need to go deeper, you can. As insights accumulate, patterns emerge. We call these opportunities. Zentrik scores them based on how many signals they have pointing in the same direction and how they connect to what you are trying to achieve, your objectives. The same evidence you would have gathered manually, now organized so that you can actually consume and share it. When an opportunity is worth exploring, it becomes an idea. You can score ideas by impact and effort, compare options, and when you're ready, promote the ones worth committing to as initiatives. This is the moment it stops being exploratory. An initiative is a container for commitment. It carries forward all the context that justified it. The insights, the opportunity, the scoring rationale. An initiative is where most of the real work happens, and where most teams lose weeks. An initiative in Zentrik starts late. A problem statement, maybe a few linked insights. You don't need a 10-page PRD on day one. Instead, Zentrik surfaces the questions that matter. Who's this for? What does success look like? What are the constraints? What is still unknown? As you answer them, alone or with your team, the initiative grows. Everything stays connected. When someone new joins the conversation, they don't ask, why are we doing this? The answer is already here. And Zentrik keeps it honest, helping you identify questions, edge cases, dependencies, whilst decisions are still cheap, not 3 weeks into the build. Once you've built clarity, you can generate what the team needs. PRDs, technical docs, user stories, even functional prototypes, all using the same context you've been building since you loaded insights. All stays consistent because you have one source of truth, and if the initiative evolves, if the scope changes, the assets evolve with it. When you need to show something to engineering or stakeholders, you're not starting from scratch. You're pulling from what you've already decided. Once you're ready to plan, this view rolls initiatives into a shared map. What is in motion, what's next, and when things are expected to land. When you're ready to hand it off, updates flow into Jira or Linear directly. The trace from insights to tickets stays intact. And because of that deep connection, when priorities shift, and they will, the plan reflects what actually changed and why. Here's what this means in practice. You spend less time rebuilding context and more time on the work that actually matters, talking to users, making hard choices, getting alignment. If you want to see this on your own data, bring one real initiative and a couple of sources. We'll map it into Zentrik and walk this exact same flow together.